let's talk about England. Let's just get it out of the way. I mean, this English team, my goodness, it there was points of this game where I genuinely thought that Scotland was going to get the better of England, and
Yeah.
the way that Kieran Tierney makes those overlaps, I've never seen anything like that. Usually when you tell someone, "Hey, this is the team and these are the players, but the two best players on this team are both left backs." You're like, "Wait, how? How's that even possible?" Well, Scotland is showing that it's very possible, and England struggled. And what disappointed me the most about this game, speaking on an England perspective or on an English perspective, is that this English team played like if they were the underdog. They were content with keeping the ball, with not doing much, with not playing deep balls, with not dribbling past a few defenders and putting in some crosses. And some of the substitutions, well, there was only two substitutions, Marcus Rashford and Jack Grealish. Where's Jadon Sancho? Where's Dominic Calvert-Lewin? I mean, you have all of this talent, but you can't put them together. You're drawing to Scotland at Wembley in a Euro. You have to bring in these players because you have to win this game. I saw a funny tweet this morning that said Gareth Southgate substituted Phil Foden with Jack Grealish because there can only be one fun player on the pitch at a time. It sounds stupid, but it's true. Just based on the substitutions and you see the team sheet, it looks true.
Yeah, it's I also don't know if that's the manager for this team, like how we spoke about Spain. I don't know if Southgate is the guy. He has a focus on youth, and he knows a lot of the players, and they took a really great step last World Cup and looking aesthetically pleasing. He's really trying to be pragmatic now, and I think he's getting too cute with it.
Mm-hmm.
Playing two center defensive mids with four with a back four, because usually they play with a back with three in the back and two wing backs. They played back four this time. So you have six guys defending against Scotland. Seven if you count the goalkeeper, obviously. So six outfield players defending against Scotland. Why?
It's a waste. It's a waste.
They have two great left backs, and my boy Billy Gilmore in midfield, who ripped their midfield to pieces. But why? What are you afraid of? You're at Wembley, like you said, and you're telling the guys to defend with their lives against Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
What? And then, like you said, Jadon Sancho, 16 goals, 20 assists last year. You need goals.
Yeah, it almost makes too much sense to bring in Jadon Sancho when you need a goal, because England was struggling, man, and their buildup was so incredibly slow. Harry Kane got very little of the ball, and the only moments in which he got some of the ball was when he was dropping deeper early in the second half, and then he got subbed off. I think I don't know. I might be looking too much into this. Harry Kane is either hurt or his fitness is a little off. I've seen some pictures, man, and listen, I'm not in great shape, obviously, but I've seen some pictures of Harry Kane when he was subbed off yesterday. He has a bit of a belly, and I don't know. I think I'm looking way too much into this, but he doesn't look himself. He really doesn't. Or maybe it's just the system doesn't benefit him. I don't know. What do you think, Chris?
I think his head is turned. I don't know if it's what club it is. It's probably Man City, but his head's elsewhere. This is the first time he's really put it out there. Like, I want out. I want out. And look at what's going on with Tottenham. Every day they're close to making an appointment. Yeah. Every day it collapses.
Yeah.
How he can put on a show and say, yeah, my focus is on the Euros and on England, but come on, man. It's obvious. And then obviously this is years ago, but he was in the Arsenal Academy and they let him go because he was chubby. So it wasn't like he was the most, he wasn't Cristiano Ronaldo, even when he was with Pochettino. But if your head's not at the right place and things aren't going well for you, and maybe the system isn't set up to attack. Yeah, maybe he's out of shape. I didn't notice the guy, but I wouldn't put it past someone who's a world class athlete to let loose a little bit. You've seen it with Eden Hazard. We've seen it with other players before, where if your head's not where it should be, it's you can say all the right things, but we can see when Harry Kane is right, and he doesn't look right now. I don't know if he's hurt. Maybe he is. He's been, honestly. This is the thing. Harry Kane is quality. I don't know if I pay what they're asking for him. If I'm every club, because his injury concerns do scare me a little bit.
Yeah.
We don't talk about it a lot, but he gets nicked up a lot. He doesn't have that major injury, but he does get nicked up a lot during the season, and maybe he's carrying something now that we're not aware of. But and maybe it's a mix of everything. Maybe it's the transfer saga, the problems with England, and he's out of shape, but and he's injured as well. But I don't know, man. But something clearly is off with Harry Kane, clearly, and just going back to Southgate, man, how do you have a problem with attacking, you have a problem scoring goals, and you play two center defensive mids like
Yeah.
Jude Bellingham isn't on the team. Jack Grealish, I know Mason Mount played, and some people were saying that he wasn't at his level, but it's tough when the rest of the team isn't all there, and it just looked like they weren't. Like you said, it just looked like they were the underdogs. They were okay with the point, and come on, you're the Three Lions. You're England. Like, this is where the game originated. You have fans all over the world, including you and me, who has nothing to do with England, who want to see them do well, just because of the romance of the story.
Yeah.
So it's I know that I'm not trying to say they took it for granted or they take it for granted. I'm not there. I'm just a fan. But this is an honor, man. You're representing your country at a major European tournament. Come on.
Yeah.
Go for it. That's from Southgate and the players. Come on.
Yeah, you absolutely have to do it. This is the showcase for European football, in obviously like on an international level. This is the showcase, and you're right, man. I mean, even when you look at the team sheet again, and you see the starting 11 that Gareth Southgate put out there this past Friday, it was it was a 4-2-3-1 with Rice and Phillips sitting as a screen in front of the back four, and then Phil Foden, Mason Mount playing a little bit more free. But you are so right. And why are you going to play two defensive midfielders, even if you want to play with two pivots? If you want to play like that, maybe not Declan Rice and Calvin Phillips. Maybe you play a playmaker in that.
Jude or Mason.
Jude Bellingham. Yeah.
You have the quality there. Or
of
Jack
course.
even. Like, if you put a Grealish or a Mount or Bellingham in midfield, and then you obviously, because Mount was playing as a 10. So if you move Mount back and you put in a Jadon Sancho and they interchange, now you have some attacking flow. You have some sort of outlet to Harry Kane doesn't have to go into midfield to try to get the ball. And it's just, man, I mean, don't get me wrong, like the 11 that he put out there, they're all great players, all of them. They're all top internationals, but you don't play that against Scotland. You play that against a France where you try to be pragmatic, and that's what I'm saying. I think he's in his head. He doesn't want to lose matches because he knows how quickly it can turn for England.
Yes.
But man, all you got to your name is a penalty shootout against Colombia. You got to go for it here. You got to go for it in this tournament. You're not that guy either. No. Sorry, but come on. You got to go for it.
That's so true. And with all due respect to Croatia, that starting 11 that Gareth Southgate presented against them, it was only saved because Raheem Sterling scored the winner. If this game would have ended 0-0, the criticism would be ridiculous, and everyone would be saying what you're saying right now. Why are you going to play two defensive midfielders when we're playing Croatia? A Croatia that isn't the same team that went to the World Cup final 3 years ago. It's a
Yeah.
completely different team. They
Lost
Rakitic retired.
Mandzukic.
Mandzukic retired, yes. So the only guy that's left is Luka Modric, and he can't do everything by himself. He just played an entire season of high-level football with Real Madrid.
And he's
Go for
nearing 50.
I mean, he sure looks like it. But but that's the thing, and you are so right. That's so spot on because he's so afraid to fail that he's actually getting closer to a failure by being so afraid of failing. That's the issue. He's getting so close to the actual failure by being in his head than if he was just like, all right, let's play with Rice as the defensive midfielder. Let's play Mason Mount on the right of Rice, and then on the left of Rice we'll play Jack Grealish or whoever you want to play. But we gotta attack a little more. Raheem Sterling, I think he played 90 minutes too many against Scotland too.
That's another thing. Like, I'm sorry, but Raheem Sterling is a great player. I'll take him at Chelsea. I'll take him at, if I were to start a club, he's top quality. Okay, I want to preface that. He also had a very down year. He's getting linked to Arsenal for a reason. He wasn't at the quality that he showed. And I'm sorry, how do you justify playing him in front of Jadon Sancho?
No, there's no justification.
Did he watch the Bundesliga this year? Like,
no, okay. Here's the thing. I feel like English people only watch the Premier League. They don't care about Bundesliga. They don't care about La Liga. Even though Jude Bellingham and Jadon Sancho have been tearing it apart. More Jadon Sancho, of course, because he's been there for longer. They've been tearing it up in Germany. They're like, well, it is Germany. Come do it over here in the Premier League. I'm not saying that's the right mentality, but
it's so faulted.
It is because you look at the how many players are in the Euros right now that are currently in a Bundesliga team? We were singing the praises of Patrick Schick last episode, or the second to last episode. We were singing his praises. He plays for a Bundesliga team. There's a lot of quality Bundesliga players in this Euro. And one of them is Jadon Sancho. Everyone wants to see Jadon Sancho play. But he hasn't gotten the minutes. Why? Who knows? Maybe it could be something as stupid as that. Well, he plays in the Bundesliga. I really hope that's not the case. Because I would think Gareth Southgate... Listen, I don't think much of Gareth Southgate, but I think he's above that thought.
I think he has a smart head on his shoulders. Don't get me. I was really impressed with him in the World Cup last time, and I think maybe we gave him too much. I saw somebody say he's a win away from being knighted. Like he's beloved in England, and that's why nobody is really talking about it. But man, even if you make that case, like, oh, Jude Bellingham played in an inferior league. Didn't he score in a Champions League tie to send Borussia Dortmund through? Like, what are we talking about here?
He scored against an English club too. He scored against Man City in that tie.
Yeah. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, come on, Southgate, you gotta wake up, get your head out of the sand, and play who's on form. Like, I'm sorry, but I saw like I said, I saw a tweet that just made too much sense. How about you play the players in form in the position they play? If that goes south, then go pragmatic. Go to center defensive mids. But why are we trying to get cute here? It's Scotland.
No reason
again.
to.
Like, I mean, I just think he's overthinking it, and he's shooting himself in the foot, man. He's shooting himself in the foot.
It's such a problem for England. And really quick before we move on, I've always, me growing up Mexican and growing up in watching a lot of Mexican soccer and being a fan of the Mexican national team, I've always seen a lot of similarities between the English national team and the Mexican national team. I've seen many similarities where the expectations are always up here, but the team is usually like right here.
Yeah.
It's always like that. And you always see managers making decisions based on public opinion and not necessarily doing what the people are asking for, but making decisions so that there's no criticism coming their way. That has always happened. And I also see it just in English and Mexican football in general. The domestic leagues are very strong. The Premier League, arguably the best league in the world. The Mexican League, one of the best leagues in this side of the world. I'm not even going to start comparing it with the Bundesliga, Premier League, whatever. But in the Americas, North and South America, it is one of the best leagues in the world. But in Mexico, you can't produce a world-class talent to save your life. Rafa Marquez was the last world-class player that Mexico produced. In England, this is the golden generation. And how long did it take for all of these players to come about? How long did it take England? Because they didn't qualify to Euro 2008. The 2010 World Cup was a joke. Euro 2012, does anyone really remember it? I don't remember it. Or England's performance. Of course, I remember Euro 2012. The 2014 World Cup, joke. The 2016 Euro, they get eliminated by a team that was making their debut. So it was a lot of this for England, and now suddenly they're going up. And mind you, throughout those tournaments, those bad performances that England was having, the expectations were always like this. Why? Because we're England. Same thing over here with Mexico. Mexico, sure, in the CONCACAF, they kill it, or sometimes they do, honestly. It's very rare almost now. But the expectations for when the World Cup comes around, oh, we're finally going to make it past the round of 16. And it never happens. I just feel like maybe, just maybe, and I'm not saying this is the case for England right now, but maybe, just maybe, the fans think they're better, they think that their team is better than what they really are. Because if you look at it objectively, it's very different. It's very different. And I just compared England and Mexico, so I'm ready for all the hate.
I think that's spot on. And that's not something since I'm not Mexican, I never thought of it that way, but it is really spot on. Mexico on this side of the world is like royalty. Like they're up there with Brazil, Argentina. Everybody expects
but we're not that good. We're not on that level.
Exactly.
There's no reason for us to be on that level because we're not that good. There's the talent isn't even close.
Yeah. It's a fair point.
Yeah, and again, why is England always a favorite betting wise in these tournaments? Because it's England. That's why they're a favorite. But let's be honest. France is a better team. Belgium is a better team. Italy, they're showing to be a better team. Portugal's a better team. Germany's a better team. I just named 5 teams that are better than this English side, in my opinion, at least. And just looking at it talent-wise.